Hi, with me is Flavio Volpe. We were just talking about the auto sector and what is happening there. A new agreement with South Korea coming our way. This in the wake of the news from Oshawa yesterday that a third shift has been canceled. Flavio, thanks so much for your patience. We have another busy news day on tap for us. So back to what is happening with the auto sector. You want to finish your thought then around these deals as memorandum of understanding, non-binding with South Korea. What should we be watching for in this potential new partnership between South Korea and Canada?
Well, look, Canadians have bought 250,000 Kia and Hyundais, essentially the same company with shared platforms, a year. For the last several years. That's about 12% of Canadian market share, just maybe a point behind Toyota, who makes cars here, Ford, who makes cars here, General Motors, who makes cars here. And so part of the pitch to the South Koreans is, look, it's time, and Canadians like your product. So you're uniquely positioned to build where you sell here. And especially in a moment when these two countries with very similar economies and very similar dynamics are looking for safe partners. And Canada is contemplating buying, $100 billion worth of subs from a Korean conglomerate as well as a German one. I think we've got two healthy bidders that help to spur other conversations. What industrial benefits might Canadians get from choosing to partner with the Koreans there? I think it'd be a very happy, mutually beneficial relationship with a company like Hyundai to come and manufacture here.
Let's turn to what's happening in Oshawa. For many people, this is the second last day of work. The the midnight shift, will be eliminated as of tomorrow. Originally, Flavio, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was meant to be about 2,000 jobs. That number has been reduced. It's now, what, between 1,200, 1,500. What will happen to those workers, and do you see more layoffs coming?
Look, you've summed it up here, the issues that we've been having in the last year, that, it might have been 2,000 and now it's 1,000, that it wasn't that long ago that we were making $1 billion announcements of new workers, incremental new workers. This is what this trade war with the U.S. has meant. And that is no consolation to the people who are going to be without work tomorrow. But it is also the reason why a lot of people, including people like me, are chasing as hard as we can for other companies that could take advantage of the skill set that the Canadian auto worker community has. General Motors has been in Oshawa longer than any of us has been alive, and is one of the two main pillars that have been here for making cars for 120 years. It's extremely important from a national interest point of view that we that on one hand we keep them whole in Ottawa, on the other hand in Oshawa, and then on the other hand keep them to account on the commitments that they've made to Canadians that have invested in them, either through their own personal income taxes, including the people that have worked at the plant, or all the other decisions that this country could have made to invest when we invested in keeping the auto sector firmly planted in Durham region. It's not a good day. We've had a string of them, and we've become, I think, sometimes desensitized to them. And I always bring it back to the person who's not going to be going to work on Monday, having to figure out how to pay the rent and how to feed their family with a skill set that is in demand around the world. But here right now is becoming precarious employment because our best friends in Washington have decided that maybe for the moment they don't like us, and they're trying to punish us through unprecedented use of national security tariffs.
Flavio Volpe is the president of the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association. Flavio, always great to have you with us, and thanks again
Thank you
for sticking around. We need